All Century 21 real estate offices are independently owned and operated.
This is the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Good morning. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, and with my husband, fellow realtor, Pat Devaney.
Good morning, Jackie. How are you doing from your safe, secure location this weekend?
Very good. How are you today?
Very good.
All right. We have with us for the second week in a row, NeighborWorks of Northeast PA, Jesse Urgot, President and CEO, Pamela Onslinger, Homeownership and Financial Services Manager. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks, Jackie and Pat, for having us back. We appreciate it.
And we appreciate your time. Thanks so much. We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 11:30 a.m. where we talk real estate. We have a full-time real estate office with many experienced realtors. We have been guiding, assisting, and advising clients in real estate matters for 50 years.
During the week, feel free to email us with any questions you have at questions@jruddy.com. That's questions@jruddy.com. Or you can give us a call at 570-344-6724. And when you go to jruddy.com, click on the webcam tab, and you can see what's going on at some more corners. And Jackie Ruddy, you are often imitated but never duplicated, right? You're the original Real Estate Roundtable.
I'm the only Real Estate Roundtable.
You're the only one, that's right.
No original.
Yeah,
it's only. Check us out on social media. View our listings, search the MLS listings, and listen to archive radio shows by going to mobile-friendly jruddy.com. That's jruddy.com. And when you're there at the radio tab, you'll see all the podcast apps that our radio show is available. If you like to podcast, certainly feel free to subscribe and rate us. And gives me a great idea of what everybody wants to listen to. So I love the stats on that. Okay. Jesse Urgot, President and CEO of NeighborWorks of Northeast PA. Would you kindly give me an overview of NeighborWorks?
Absolutely. So NeighborWorks Northeastern Pennsylvania has had the privilege of serving our neighbors and local communities for 40 years. So we're right around the corner from celebrating our 40th anniversary this summer. We're really excited about that. We've been doing this work for a long time, and really what we focus on is both place-based work, so revitalizing neighborhoods, making places better and more attractive places for people to live, work, play, and raise a family. We also really focus on people, so financial coaching and education, home buyer training, aging in place services, helping seniors to stay in their homes longer and with more dignity and safely. So all these types of programs really come back to this concept of home. You know, as I said last week, we like to say home is where it all starts. That's kind of one of the things that we focus on. And so if everybody is taken care of, everybody has a good place to live, a safe place to live, then, a lot of other things can come from that. And so, we're excited to be here back with you and talk about the great work that NeighborWorks does.
Well, one of the things we were talking about last week when you were here is the StopHomeScams.org campaign that you participate in. And we're seeing a lot of scams on the rise, unfortunately, having to deal with the home as people have hit hard times due to the pandemic. Pamela, you were talking about last week the different ways of spotting a scam and how to report it. And also, we touched on a variety of scams that are hitting homeowners and renters, but there's others that we'd like to talk about this week, and specifically social media.
Absolutely. We're all on it. We all use it. And the scammers, they keep up with, what's going on in the world. And social media has, really grown into this bigger thing than what anyone, I think, ever expected it to be. And the scammers are right there with it. I know when I'm scrolling through different things, you get ads and advertisements, and based on what you're researching or what you're clicking on. And in the work that I do, I'm constantly looking at scams. I have people telling me, oh, this company sent me this, so I'm going to it. So I think I see a little bit more consistent scam activity on my social media because of those behaviors that I'm doing on the internet searches and things. So I'm constantly seeing, these different websites and these different advertisements, and, they all kind of lead you down this rabbit hole of information that isn't always accurate, that encourages you to, stop paying your mortgage so you can get access to these, better products. And anybody who knows financing knows that if you're not paying, you're not getting offers that are good.
Well, I was sitting at my computer last Sunday, and this person from India decided they wanted to instant message me through the business Facebook account that we have. I really don't know what their goal was because I didn't stay in the chat long enough, but I can't believe that somebody from India was actually looking to buy a house, but they wanted to correspond with me, but I cut it off immediately. I just got that bad feeling. But there's red flags on social media. So there's something that popped up, lowermybills.com. Should I click on that?
So that's a really good example. That is one that I came across, and you can usually, tell by the way that they are advertising. So that one in particular that I saw was advertising, that the government has approved billions in mortgage assistance for struggling homeowners. It specifically says, if you can't wait around for this assistance and you owe less than $350,000 on your home and you haven't missed payments, you can use this Congress mortgage stimulus program, which I don't even know what that is, to basically get into a better option. And the first, flag there obviously is that it screams, that it's pulling at your heartstrings. It's identifying that it's not somebody who has fallen behind, but somebody who might be struggling, to make those payments and is worried about falling behind. The next thing is it then is giving you links based on your age. So we know marketing is very driven by how old we are and our demographics. So, it's then filtering you into the next segue, which is, appealing to your age demographic. And at the end of the rabbit hole, you're finding out that you're essentially applying for a refinance into a loan product that is either an adjustable rate mortgage or, a balloon payment or something else that has unfavorable loan terms. And you don't realize until you're in it that that's what you've done.
Yeah, that's scary stuff.
Well, I identify as a teenager, so I guess I won't be getting any any of those calls.
I don't know.
Jackie says I might be older, but I act like
My 14-year-old gets lots of scams. I actually had to sit down with him and ask him what websites he's been going to, because he's getting text messages to help file unemployment claims or apply for auto loans and different job ads. And I finally sat down and was like, what are you going to that you I don't think I've ever seen somebody with so much scam activity in their text messages. And so we kind of curbed a little bit of what he's doing. But it's really a perfect example. Even though he's a teenager and there's a little bit of that, not know better, we all do it. We all just click on things and keep going. And then there's our information out there to the world and allowing us to be targeted.
Yeah, it's scary because there's a group or a company or terrorists wherever in the world that have picked up my agent roster, know who I am, and pretend that they're me and text my people or email them. And if you look closely, and then so at the top of the email it says my name, Jackie Ruddy, but then next to it has this long unknown email address that is not mine. And if you look at it, it's smaller, obviously. So if you're not paying attention, you can easily think it's me. And it's asking them to send me, I'm in an important meeting, but I need gift cards immediately sent to me. And so if someone caught it quickly, thought that, and I am in meetings, they go out and buy these gift cards, send them to this person. They're out that money.
Jesse's always asking me to buy gift cards.
Last week that in some ways I was happy to hear that we weren't the only ones that was happening to. I'm sure many of your listeners have experienced similar types of scams. And really, one of the things that we find is consistent is they always start with some kind of truth to lend legitimacy, whether it's they have a list of all of the realtors on your roster, or they have your social security number, or they have other personal information that really is true. And so unfortunately they use that to kind of lend legitimacy to whatever the offer is that they're making, and it's almost always an offer, right? It's an offer to improve something, relieve a problem, get you out of a situation, whatever it is. And most of the time, as Pam had mentioned previously, you typically ask for your money up front, and that's usually never a good thing, and it's always a red flag.
Or those gift cards. They always want gift cards.
Absolutely, yeah.
If I hear gift cards, I run for the hills, or maybe I'll engage them on the phone and try and, waste some of their time, because I do like doing that. But
Another thing I saw here at this office, and this hits home because it happened to one of my people, she was trying to change a flight last year, and so something came up at the last minute. She was changing her flight, and so she was doing it here at the office, and she was on her cell phone. Well, she had to get some information and call them back. Well, they called her, and they had all her information, her flight numbers, her seat number, everything. And so she thought she was really talking to a rep from the airlines. And then so they told her to get the gift cards. Well, she hesitated a moment, said it didn't feel right, it sounded right, but they had all this information. It must be correct. So other people here overheard it, said, I don't know about that. Well, she went out, she got her gift cards, and they really beat her out of a lot of money.
That's so sad.
Yeah, that's so sad. And again, it starts with some truth, right? She had real information that they used to kind of gain her trust and pretend it was legitimate, but it wasn't.
I'm worried about my mother because she's now, on Facebook and email, and I always tell her, don't open up emails. And if you do, have me look at it before you respond or do anything. Don't be clicking. I'm always afraid that she's going to download a virus or get scammed out of something.
You know what, Jackie? That's a good point to bring up. Is a lot of these different scams target seniors, and one of the ones that we've heard a lot about are when seniors are getting calls from someone who's pretending to be a younger relative that's in need of something, a college student,
yes, or
a young adult who's traveling and is stuck somewhere in trouble, and they need money wired to them to get out of it. And many times, as some of the seniors we've talked to don't always hear as well over the phone, and they can't quite place voices and make those connections as well as they may be used to. They could be more vulnerable to that, and again, playing off emotions and kind of the urgency that is portrayed through the scam. So all of those things require a pause, right? Pause, double check, check with other family members. All those types of things are really important steps to take before taking any action.
So what are some of the challenges homeowners are facing these days?
I think, the big thing is just flow of communication. We had a lot of changes just in the last couple of months. We have a lot of government funding coming out, and there's a lot of misinformation on what's going on with that money, where is it going, and how it's going to be set up to help people. There's also, we had a change in executive branch, which causes a lot of misinformation. Like I mentioned, that ad on Facebook was, specifically, saying that Biden created this program that clearly, is not a program. But what was, really scary for me, seeing that was all the conversations, all the message threads that were attached to that advertisement wasn't on the legitimacy of this advertisement. It was on people having political arguments over whether or not this program was good or not. And at no point in time did anyone step back and say, hey, this isn't even a program. I think that really speaks volumes to the communication and the misinformation that's out there. We're often bogged down by some other things, and we don't always look through that fog of smoke, that these scammers can portray.
Well, I went on to the consumer.ftc.gov website, and I looked at all the scams that are out there these days. And anybody can go and do that at any time, and it's really alarming. So, the one that Jesse was just talking about, those grandparent, grandchild scams that are out there, according to this website, they're actually going to someone's door to collect the money. They're stepping it up. They're not just calling or emailing. And targeting loved ones of COVID-19 victims. They want to help you manage your bills. And a COVID vaccine survey. That was another one that was a big scam, huge scam. There's a ton of them out there, and a lot of them have to relate to the pandemic. And then, like you said, Jesse, unfortunately, that bond that parents have with their children or grandparents have with their grandchildren, and they're getting people.
Yeah, it's just one of those situations where people who are more vulnerable than ever because of the pandemic and other uncertainty that exists because of so much information out there. Pam mentioned that just with the change in administration, all of the moratoriums on foreclosures and evictions changing multiple times over the last year in terms of who's eligible for what, how those moratoriums will work, and also just creating all this uncertainty. It might not be around housing that somebody gets scammed, but all these other things are on people's mind, and you're just not as attentive when you're getting asked questions that should raise your suspicion. So, challenges. You mentioned challenges facing homeowners. One of the things that we're hearing a lot about is that just people are trying to keep up with the latest what resources are available through the CARES Act and the most recent legislation that was passed earlier in March about what's going to be available through that's going to help folks, because many are still facing this issue where they can't afford to pay. Right, they've been unemployed for a significant amount of time, which has maybe gotten them a little behind, and so there's just a lot of angst and anxiety around how this is all going to shape out, and we don't even know all that the answer to how all those pieces are going to play out. But one thing that we're excited about is the availability of some resources and assistance through rent, utility, and mortgage relief programs that have come out of the CARES Act, and we're helping to try to connect people with those. So maybe Pam can talk a little bit about the specifics there.
We'd be happy to do that after our break. Jesse Ergot, President and CEO, Pamela Onslinger, Homeownership and Financial Services Manager of NeighborWorks of Northeastern Pennsylvania. This is the time we usually go over a listing, and all our listings that we're listing are selling within hours, days. So, yeah.
As soon as they come up, boom, they're gone.
They're gone. We have pre-approved buyers. We have cash buyers. We have pre-approved buyers looking for in all different areas, all different price ranges for every type of property. If you're thinking about selling, now is a great time. They're going at a great price in record time, so please give us a call because chances are we probably have a buyer that's looking for a home like yours. We'll return in just a few moments with more Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21, Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker.
Who are Century 21 agents? They're high-tech gizmo-packing problem solvers with an appetite for getting things done. They know the best places to buy a home, to sell a home, and to find antiques, if you're into that kind of thing. They're weatherproof, foolproof, and proof positive that smart people doing good work can make big things happen for great folks like you. Oh, and there's one nearby. This is who they are. This is what they do. Century 21 agents. Smarter, bolder, faster. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Hi, this is Jackie Ruddy from Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Is real estate on your mind? It's on ours 24/7. Whether you're buying, selling, investing, or in need of an appraisal, you have questions, we have answers.
Thinking of buying or selling a house and have questions? Tune in to the Real Estate Roundtable hosted by locally owned and operated Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday mornings at 11:30.
Call 570-344-6724 or visit jruddy.com. That's JRUDDY.com.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, and with Pat Devaney, my husband, fellow realtor.
And I'm back with the one and only Jackie Ruddy from the Real Estate Roundtable.
Jesse,
there is no other Jackie Ruddy.
Oh, well, thank you, Pat. We also have on the line with us today Jesse Ergot, President and CEO, and Pamela Onslinger, Homeownership and Financial Services Managers, and they're from NeighborWorks of Northeast PA. Thanks, guys, for being with us. We're having a great discussion 2 weeks in a row how to identify scams, and unfortunately the pandemic, they are on the rise. And, you know, officials say that as soon as they spot a scam, more pop up to replace the previous one. So the criminals always seem to be a step ahead. I have some statistics. Consumers reported more than 498,000 imposter scams to the Federal Trade Commission. That was for 2020. Nearly 1 in 5 people reported losing money. Overall reported losses were nearly $1.2 billion. The median loss was $850. Almost 1/3 of the imposter scams reported involved someone posing as a government representative. Oftentimes, scammers say you'll be fined, arrested, deported if you don't pay taxes or some other debt. They try to tell you that you owe back taxes. There was a problem with your return. You have to give them all your sensitive information, pay them, and then they'll make it go away. And that's the number one thing that I think Pamela told us about in the first show is when they're asking for money to erase something else, beware.
Absolutely. And, you know, the fact that most of these came from somebody posing as the government, last week I mentioned that time that I was getting calls for my student loans. My student loans are government loans. And, you know, when I called my government servicer, they told me that they don't make phone calls. They don't verify your information that way. And it's scary when you think the government's calling you. You just want to fix it and make it go away. And that's usually, you know, a clear flag that it's a scam. What I always, tell people is make sure you're going and getting the right information. And especially if you're researching online, make sure you're going to the Federal Trade Commission, you're going to .gov websites, .org websites, and that you're getting information that's relevant to not just the information that you're looking for, but also your state. Your state can have additional consumer protection laws, and make sure that, you know, if you're being targeted, people are following the correct law process according to the state you live in.
Good advice.
Pam, what you said last week I thought was terrific. When you get those calls and you're a little suspicious, tell them that you're going to call them back. And 9 times out of 10, the number they're calling you from is no good. So
absolutely.
I think that's terrific advice to say, listen, okay, I will call you back. And they don't want that.
One thing that I recently came across that was really different on the mortgage side specifically is I had somebody contact me and they had copies of bills from a debt collector claiming to settle their mortgage. And now, you know, if anyone is familiar with the way that mortgages work, you can't do that. It doesn't work that way. You have a mortgage, it's recorded on your deed. They have to go through the courts in the state of Pennsylvania to acquire, your property through the foreclosure process. There is no debt settlement that happens in that process. And that was really scary because they had an FHA loan, and it was basically a letter trying to say that they're acting on behalf of the federal government. This person owed $60,000, and they were willing to give them their home back for a settlement of $40,000. and that person was trying to figure out how to get $40,000.
Unbelievable. But we were talking during the break that there's currently a moratorium on the federal loans, but that's expiring in June, right?
Yes. So that as of right now,
moratorium on foreclosures?
Yes. So the protections are in place until June 30th. Those have been extended. At this point, we're not seeing the likelihood that they'll be extended again in light of the vaccines, and things coming out of potentially out of this, past year of pandemics. But I think, the main thing to know there is that those protections are in place to federally insured loans. The federal government can only govern the things that they have invested interest in. So your conventional loans, your FHA, veterans loans, these are all loans that can't be foreclosed on. Your private loans, your home equity loans, your loans that you get through your local banks, it's up to those institutions to offer you options. And that's really where it's important to make sure that you're communicating with your local servicer as to what options are available to you and making sure that you're protected.
There's also rent and utility relief programs available as well, correct?
Yes. The rent, mortgage, and utility relief program, there is one that's being ran through Lackawanna County. So if you live within Lackawanna County, please, contact the local county office. You can do that application online at their website. If you live in the city of Scranton, we at NeighborWorks are taking the applications for the mortgage assistance, where rent and utility is being accepted by another nonprofit, United Neighborhood Centers.
Good. And how does someone get in touch with NeighborWorks?
So the easiest way to get in touch with us is really just to go to our website, www.nwnepa.org, or give us a call at our office, 570-558-2490. Those rent, utility, and mortgage relief programs are really a unique opportunity right now, so we'd love to talk to people who may be facing foreclosure or eviction and get them pointed in the right direction. This is all resources that came through the Federal CARES Act, so there just isn't many instances of federal funds going, especially to mortgage relief, actually looking to help pay back back mortgage amounts that are owed due to hardship created by the pandemic. So there's obviously some guidelines and some eligibility requirements that people need to meet to take advantage of those funds, but it really is a unique opportunity for people who've been negatively impacted by the pandemic to try to get back on their feet and get stable housing again.
We've had you on the show before where you talked about your first-time homebuyer county and city programs, but if you could just quickly give me an overview of the opportunities available to those type of buyers, please. Run down your programs.
Sure. Yeah, the City of Scranton Homebuyer Assistance Program can really help with down payment and closing costs. In order to qualify, you do have to participate in NeighborWorks Homebuyer Education course, and then we provide you with the application to apply for that. There are some income guidelines that we can go over as well, and the Lackawanna County program, again, is anybody that's looking to purchase in the county. That one is streamlined, so everyone gets $7,500. The income guidelines for that are a little bit higher than the City of Scranton program, and the purchase limit is $200,000 on a house. So that program is really accessible, and we encourage people to contact our office for more information on those.
And you're going to have a community cleanup the first week of June, correct?
Yeah, we celebrate NeighborWorks Week every year, so that's a nationally celebrated event. So all of our partner organizations across the country are looking at the week of June 5th through 12th to do all different types of activities that just promote community. And so we are looking at organizing and implementing a large NeighborWorks Week project in the city of Scranton. We're looking for volunteers that will help with different cleanups throughout the city. More information will be able to be found at our website, again, nwnepa.org.
Jesse Ergott, President and CEO, Pamela Onslinger, Homeownership and Financial Services Manager of NeighborWorks Northeast PA. Thank you both for being with us 2 weeks in a row. Remember to tune in next Saturday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 11:30 a.m. to the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate and 94.3 FM, The Talker.